Welcome to the deep dive.
Hmm.
All right, so imagine for a moment a world just teeming with ancient powers,
Right.
hidden rebellions, rulers who actually call themselves gods.
Right. A complex setup.
Now, what if just one person's journey, like a really desperate personal journey full of escapes, these unexpected alliances, what if that started to unravel these huge cosmic secrets?
Secrets that could potentially reshape everything.
Exactly. That's really the heart of what we're digging into today.
Precisely. And we've gone through, well, quite a stack of sources. Everything from intensely personal notes, some harrowing battle reports, even cryptic historical text and clandestine communications. Our goal really is to extract the most vital nuggets of knowledge from this universe, helping you connect the dots on this really complex web of relationships, powers, prophecies.
Where the lines are just constantly blurred.
Yeah, between love, loyalty, and just sheer survival.
Okay, get ready. We're aiming for some surprising facts, maybe some of those aha moments, because we are diving deep into a story where every twist seems to reveal another layer. So let's start our journey with Sophie Renast. Their sheer will to survive, it's just astounding from the get-go. Tell us about her initial ordeal, that escape, and the sacrifices involved.
Sophie's story is, it's really one of profound loss and just desperate measures. She endured 2 weeks, 2 horrific weeks in the Kavala death camp.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And that's where her parents were tortured, ultimately killed by the Hind, or maybe her elite Dreadwolf squadron. The sources are a bit murky there.
Okay.
And her grandparents, shot in a mass grave at another camp, Brachus. So this sets the stage immediately. Her driving motivation becomes finding her brother Emil.
Right, that personal mission, and that led her straight to the Ophian rebels. How does she navigate that, especially dealing with someone like Pippa who sounds intense?
Oh, absolutely. To find Emil, she allies with Ophian. She gets involved in spying, even killing, just to get intel. But there's this constant friction because of her Vanir blood.
Ah, the magic heritage. They didn't trust her.
Exactly. Seen as powerful but maybe unreliable or dangerous by the rebels.
Yeah.
Still, Sophie, she's incredibly resourceful. She leverages Pippa, described as a crazed fanatic, leader of the brutal Lightfall unit, to get Emil's location. It shows she's willing to make these really difficult, maybe morally gray deals to reach her goal.
So she gets into this camp, not just trying to survive, but specifically as like a valuable asset to Ophian to get Emil out. What happened during that escape attempt?
Well, the escape was incredibly tense. Sophie, Emil, other kids, they try to flee on a boat, the boat of Graven, from service.
Right.
But Dreadwolves, these elite soldiers, are everywhere. Someone named Silver, with sharp senses, detects them. And here's where Sophie makes this critical choice.
She stays behind.
Yeah, she stays behind to distract them. Sacrifices her own chance to escape so Emil and the children can get away. It's a defining moment.
But then the Hind shows up.
Exactly. The Hind emerges. Sniper rifle, Gorgon bullets, these specialized, dangerous rounds. And the Hind reveals something huge. Emil's power supposedly downed Omega boats.
Wow.
Confirming, as the Hind says, legends about your kind are true, suggesting Emil might be way more powerful than anyone suspected.
That's intense. And Sophie's own powers during this? Could she use them?
Sophie, well, she's a Thunderbird. She has this unique electrical power, first light, she calls it. But using it it's agonizing.
Agonizing how?
It literally chars her insides. Yet the sources say she craved its potency. So there's this internal conflict, this cost to her power. But after her capture, she's left completely drained, not a spark left. The Hind recognizes her power, calls her remarkable, but binds her with Gorgon shackles.
Her magic suppressors.
And then throws a white stone into the water. A chilling act, implying, that's the end of Sophie.
A presumed death. But knowing this story, that's probably not the end, is it?
Not even close. This is where things get really interesting. Tharian Kitos, he's the River Queen's captain of intelligence, is sent later to retrieve Sophie's body.
Why? Why retrieve a body?
Because the Queen apparently believes Sophie was an asset, even dead. Strange, right?
Very strange.
Tharian finds her body, weighted down with lead blocks, confirming the Queen's intel. But then later, it comes out that Sophie, being part human, deliberately lied about Emil's powers.
A lie?
Why protect him? She made him seem powerful to draw attention, maybe hoping someone powerful would shield him. A calculated gamble, even facing death.
Okay, this changes the whole rebellion picture. It's not just about escape. So how did others get drawn into finding Emil? And what bigger secrets were they stumbling upon?
Right, the web gets wider. We find out Cormac Donald, Crown Prince of Avalon Fae, but secretly an Ophian rebel was actually Sophie's lover.
The same Cormac involved later with Bryce?
The very same. He was searching for Emil too, but claiming he needed to protect Emil from Ophian, specifically from Pippa. So you've got infighting hidden agendas, and Sophie was using these crystal-fueled radios, sending coded messages to a key Ophian spy, Agent Daybright, possibly one of the Asteri themselves.
One of the Asteri.
Yeah, a huge potential twist. The Hind arriving so quickly at Sophie's capture suggests maybe those messages were intercepted. Betrayal is everywhere.
And the carvings.
Yes. The numbers and letters Sophie carved on herself.
Yeah.
Baxian later identifies them as a numbering system from the Asteri archives. She was leaving a clue, a desperate message pointing towards a much larger secret.
Okay, let's shift from that shadow world to Bryce Quinlan, our main protagonist. Half-Fae, half-human, her life seems just as tangled, especially with family and a surprise engagement.
Absolutely caught between worlds. Her father, the Autumn King, a powerful Fae ruler, he orchestrates this arranged marriage between Bryce and Cormac Donnell.
The same Cormac again, it's all connected.
It really is. And for the Autumn King, this is purely transactional. It's for his best interest, for potential powerful offspring, power consolidation.
And he pits Bryce against her brother, Rune.
He does. He dismisses Run, calls him a second-rate prince, because Bryce's starlight power and her connection to the Stars Ward are seen as more potent than Rune's shadow magic. Classic toxic family politics, but on a royal scale.
So how does Bryce, who seems fiercely independent, react to being treated like, well, like a pawn?
Defiantly, as you expect, she makes this incredibly bold public move. During the Archangel Celestina's mating celebration, she declares Hunt Athalar, this angel with a history of servitude, as her mate.
In public.
Oh yeah, calls him my prince, a direct slap in the face to her father's authority. And this comes shortly after she'd become an official princess, a title kind of forced on her after she used royal privilege to help a friend.
So she felt like property.
Exactly. Like chattel, owned by her father or Cormac. Her declaration was about reclaiming herself.
And her relationship with Hunt, it's clearly more than just political defiance.
Oh, absolutely. It's deep.
Yeah.
They started as roommates with a no-sex rule, but it evolved. Hunt admits he's been in love with her for a while, feels they're already bound biologically.
And he killed for her.
He killed his former archangel, Sandriel, for threatening Bryce. That's serious commitment. Plus, their powers are merging. They can teleport together, though it nearly breaks Bryce. It suggests their destinies are, linked.
So with all this power and family drama, what's Bryce actually trying to achieve? What's her endgame?
Fundamentally, independence. She hates the security detail, thinks she can handle things herself. But more deeply, she's driven to find answers about her friend Danika, who died.
Danika's hidden life.
Exactly. She knows Danika and Sophie were connected. She needs to understand the full scope of it, especially after finding out Danika had a mate. This quest, this need for truth, is what points her towards the Asteri archives. She believes the answers, what Sophie and Danika died for, are hidden there. And while Bryce and Hunt are dealing with all that royal mess and their own bond, you've got these other fascinating storylines unfolding. Alliances shifting, personal quests.
Right, let's talk about Ethan Holstrom, the wolf shifter. His situation sounds complicated, especially with his past and where he ends up living.
Yeah, Ethan. He's a former Sunball player, like a sports star, but he's kind of adrift. He got kicked out by Sabine, she's the Wolf Prime, Danika's mother, because she's paranoid he might challenge her leadership.
Tack politics.
Definitely. And he's holding on to this massive secret. Mordok, this elite imperial interrogator, a bloodhound, is actually Danika's biological father. Bryce only found out much later.
Wow. Okay, so where does he go?
He ends up moving in with Rune, grateful for a place to stay. He even starts helping Declan, another friend, sift through computer footage, trying to find information. He's trying to be useful, find his place again.
But he's also on a very personal quest, isn't he? Something about his brother.
Absolutely. It's deeply personal. He's determined to contact his dead brother, Connor Holstrom. He believes Connor's soul is lost somewhere, not just gone.
So he needs supernatural help.
Right. He seeks out Hypaxia, a witch queen, who could perform a ritual on the autumnal equinox to contact the dead. This leads them to the astronomer's place.
And what do they find there?
Something pretty chilling. A captive wolf mystic, Thanatos, the Prince of Ravine, kept in a tank. This mystic confirms Connor's soul isn't in hell, which is huge.
But there's more.
Yeah, a kicker. The mystic reveals Bryce killed one of his creations, this thing called the Shepherd, and in doing so, she accidentally severed a vital link to Midgard, Bryce's actions having unforeseen cosmic consequences.
Oh, wow. And Ethan.
Ethan makes this incredibly selfless choice. He decides to stay at the astronomer's place to guard the captive mystic whose family depends on her servitude continuing. It's a massive
A
sacrifice.
huge sacrifice. Okay, now Tharian, the Mer, his journey takes a really dark turn you mentioned. Slavery.
Yeah, Tharian's path is rough. He starts as the River Queen's captain of intelligence, forced into searching for Emil.
Press ganged, right.
Exactly. Then he finds out Emil has no powers, that Sophie made it all up. That, plus his disgust with the River Queen's court, her vindictiveness. It pushes him over the edge.
So he sells himself.
He sells himself into slavery to the Viper Queen, becomes one of her prize fighters. He takes her venom, gains new power, but gives up his freedom.
Why would he do that?
Desperation, maybe? A way to escape the River Queen, but also maybe a strategic move to continue gathering intel from a different, albeit dangerous position.
Yeah.
And crucially, he's still loyal enough to call Flynn and warn Run and the others when they get captured later. His core hasn't entirely broken.
Loyalty is definitely tested in this world. What about other unexpected allies? Baxian, for instance. He seemed like an antagonist initially.
Abaxian is a fascinating case. Hellhound Angel Shifter, former elite soldier under Sandriel. Looks like bad news at first.
Right.
But then comes the bombshell.
Yeah.
He was Danika's mate. Fiercely loved her. This changes everything.
Danika's mate. So he knew about the secrets.
He knew about Sophie's coded numbers pointing to the Asteri archives. He claims he's a rebel sympathizer deep down. And he proves it by risking absolutely everything to save Hunt and Bryce from Pollux, Sandriel's sadistic former hammer. It shows loyalties aren't always what they seem. Love and principle can override old allegiances.
Okay, so all these paths, Sophie's sacrifice, Bryce's defiance, Ethan's quest, Tharian's desperation, Baxian's hidden loyalty, they all seem to point towards the Asteri. What did Bryce and Hunt actually find in those archives?
The archives mission was incredibly dangerous, driven by Sophie's coded message, and what they found was game-changing. Bryce found plaques naming the Asteri, including one, Sirius, who was apparently devoured by the Prince of the Pit.
God devoured, okay.
But the biggest shock was their true nature. They aren't gods in the way you might think. They're self-proclaimed higher beings who literally feed on the power of the veneer.
Feed on them, like energy vampires.
Essentially, yes. They keep humans around, according to the archives, just to give you Vanir, someone to rule over, all in exchange for this nutrition. It reframes their entire history, their entire society. They're parasites ruling an empire built for their sustenance.
That is horrifying. So, given this truth, what did Rigilus, one of the head Asteries, want with Bryce specifically?
Rigilus, the bright hand of the Asteri, he needed Bryce for one reason: to reopen the rifts, these ancient portals between worlds.
Why?
He claims the Fae ancestors, using the horn and another object, stole the rifts from the Asteri's people long ago. He even says they slew my siblings 1,000 years before we arrived on Midgard. So it's framed as reclaiming stolen property and maybe getting revenge.
Then Bryce's starborn power is the key.
Exactly. Her unique power is what he needs to make it happen. She becomes this unwilling linchpin in his cosmic plans.
Which puts her in an absolutely impossible situation, especially when Rune gets captured. That must have just cranked up the pressure immensely.
Oh, completely. Run is captured by Mordok and the Harpy, then tortured horribly. And then another twist. Lydia Servos, the Hind.
Sophie's captor.
Yes. She reveals herself to be Agent Daybright, the Ophian spy, and Run's secret mind-speak contact.
No way.
Yeah. She wasn't soulless. She was playing a deep game, risking everything. She even slipped Bryce a key for their Gorgian shackles. But it was too late. Rigilus's trap was already sprung.
So the ultimate sacrifice. What did Bryce have to do?
Faced with seeing Hunt and Run killed, Bryce makes this gut-wrenching bargain with Rigilus. She agrees to help him open a portal if he releases Hunt and Run unharmed forever.
Oh, man. Hunt must have fought against that.
He desperately pleaded with her not to. But Bryce, holding the star sword Run gave her, she honored her word. There's this final, agonizing goodbye with Hunt before he's just consumed by darkness. A terrible, terrible choice driven by love.
And after that, where did she end up? Did she make it to hell like she planned?
Nope, not hell. Wielding the star sword, she escapes through the portal, but ends up in a totally new world.
A new world.
Yeah. She finds herself among winged figures, other Fae, and crucially, they're speaking the old language of the Fae. They recognize stars in her eyes, hinting at some kind of ancient connection, maybe prophecy related to this place.
And the story ends there.
Pretty much. It ends with her pleading for help, saying her world, Midgard, is in grave danger, leaves you hanging, wondering what this new world is and how she'll ever get back or save her friends.
Yeah.
So this whole deep dive, it really lays bare this universe where power, sacrifice, and just the relentless hunt for knowledge, for truth, it shapes everything. From Sophie's personal vengeance igniting wider plots to these huge cosmic wars playing out.
Yeah, and how individual choices just ripple outward.
Exactly, affecting entire empires.
And thinking about what this all means, the Asteri calling themselves gods but actually feeding on power, our heroes being, well, kind of pawns in this ancient conflict, it really makes you question things, doesn't it? Like, if your very existence fuels someone else or is just a piece in their game, what does freedom even mean in that context?
It poses a really important question, I think. When knowledge itself is weaponized, and just surviving means you have to question every single truth you thought you knew, how much of your own fate is actually set in stone?
Right.
And how much can be changed? Changed by defiance, by love, by just refusing to accept the story you're told.
Definitely something for you to ponder after we wrap up. We really hope this deep dive into all the extraordinary twists and turns of this world has left you feeling informed, not totally overwhelmed.
Yeah, hopefully intrigued.
And maybe, just maybe, a little more curious about the secrets that might be hiding right under our noses, waiting to be discovered.